This Vision Ireland podcast contains chapter markers. If you want to skip the intro or a topic you don't like, you can use chapter markers to do so. Chapter markers are only supported in some podcast apps. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Talking Technology with VI Labs. At VI Labs, we believe technology is the single greatest enabler for people with sight loss and all disabilities. If you're looking for the latest news and conversation on tech from a more accessible perspective, you've come to the right place.
Yes, indeed you have. Hello everybody and welcome in to Talking Technology with VI Labs episode 87. We are flying through the episodes, I must say. We've had so many episodes over the last little while. We've done more than one a week. We've done ones on Saturdays. We had a podcast last week and the week before. So thank you so much for engaging with the podcast. Really do appreciate it. But the news, it's just kept on coming. We had WWDC last week. We had the Glide demo day going back before that. But today, the news continues. We are going to be catching up on all the latest goings on in the world of audio descriptive commentary, specifically for the League of Ireland and the GAA. We'll be talking about that in just a bit as well. So really exciting stuff. So do stick around with us for the next hour or so. And remember, if you would like to, you can always get in touch with us here on Talking Technology. There are loads of ways for you to join the conversation, and we would absolutely love it if you would. Now, if you would like to send us a message, as many people do, you can send us a message on WhatsApp if you would like. The number that you need there is 086 199 0011. That's 086 199 0011. Or if you would like to send us a message by email, you can do that as well if you would so desire. You can send us an email to content@vi.ie. That's content@vi.ie. So a few different ways that you can get in touch with us if you would like to, and we'd absolutely love to hear from you, whether it's a technology piece of tech that you tried, a new app you got, or just something that you would like to tell us about, something we discussed. We would absolutely love to hear from you. But now though, there has been a load of people getting in touch over recent weeks, and we kind of put a few of your voice notes and your messages on hold while we were covering all of the Glide demo day stuff in last week's episode. It was still an hour and a half though, so little wins. But to catch up on all of the goings on from the past couple of weeks in voice note and message land, I am joined from Kilkenny by Mr. Joe Lonigan. Joe, how are you?
Hi David, all good down here.
Very good, Joe, very good. Are you enjoying the warm, albeit clammy weather?
Warm but showery weather down here. Yeah, it's okay, David. It's okay. That's all I'll say for today. So I'm hoping for the clouds will disappear and we might get proper summer soon. That's
true. Although, do you know what, Joe? I don't mind the showers because our shower at home kicked the bucket over the weekend. So, little wins. You go out, stand in the rain for a little while. Sure, you're as good as new. No time. It only helps us grow, as they say. So.
Yeah, what helps water the flowers? I'll take that bonus. I don't wash myself in the shower now outside, David. We're a bit more advanced up here.
A bit more civilised than that, Lonigan.
Yeah, civilised, yeah.
Absolutely. Fair enough. So there you have it. We have loads of voice notes to go through this week, Joe. And we are starting off, we are going international. One of the messages we got in was from Tom in Colorado. Tom had his views to share on us and our use of chapter markers in recent podcasts.
Hello, this is Tom in Colorado. I am a long-time listener, first-time contributor. Anyway, this has to do with the inclusion of chapter markers. I wanted to endorse that and encourage you to continue doing that. It's very useful. And just to give you feedback, I used the chapter markers in the most recent episode, and they worked fine with my AntennaPod app. And that's a little bit of information on how at least this person listens to your podcast with AntennaPod. Anyway, keep up the great work. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks so much, Tom. I think we have, if I'm not mistaken, Joe, we have Derry Lawler to thank for this, because it was a voice note from him that inspired us playing around with the chapter markers, but they seem to be working relatively okay.
Yeah, well, I encourage you then, David, just to give you that extra bit of hard work, create chapter markers. But I think it's a great idea from Derry, yeah. And it obviously helped Tom there in Colorado as well. And great to hear you're a long-term listener as well, Tom. And we welcome your voice notes. Great voice note, by the way. And AntennaPod, podcatcher app, another podcast app to add to the list. I only need one, maybe two at the most, but you can never get enough information or enough recommendations. One might suit somebody else better than the other. So I'll have to get that AntennaPod a quick go and see what the benefits are.
It's different strokes for different folks. Yeah. Different strokes for different folks, and I think it's good that people are using apps in different ways. We have loads of people listening on things like Victor Reader Streams and that, so it's always good to hear how people are listening. Yes, we will keep doing the chapter markers. We've had good feedback on that, so thank you to everyone who's done that. The first time I set up the chapter markers, I think I made a bit of a mess of it, but the second time and all subsequent times, it seems to be relatively smooth. So those are available in some podcast apps. So we'll keep doing that. And thank you, Tom, for your listenership and your feedback. Really do appreciate it. Our next voice note that we had in is from Jodie. We're back in Ireland now. Jodie had some comments to share, specifically around the launch of WhatsApp for iPad. Here is what Jodie had to say.
I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm currently using WhatsApp on my iPad to send this voice note. As a visually impaired person, I find phones in general just really, really small, and I don't like using them. So having as much on my iPad as possible is incredible. And as for the liquid glass, I hate it. I have transparency reduced because it was just so difficult to navigate with. But I'm definitely interested to see what Apple does around that. I love the window display, and I can't wait to see what happens. But yeah, I definitely do not like the liquid glass at all.
She's not a fan of the liquid glass at all. So thanks so much, Jodie, for the message. Slightly harder to hear parts of that voice message. I reckon Jodie was using AirPods there, which can sometimes cause that to happen. But makes a really, really valid point, Joe, about the WhatsApp for iPad. And kind of how that, it has its real benefits, especially for someone who has low vision.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm hearing lots of people are loving the WhatsApp for iPad, especially low vision users, obviously. You can see there are loads of photos, as you know, come in on WhatsApp, and texts and pictures, jokes, whatever, but to have them on a big screen, a larger screen, like maybe your 11-inch iPad or Generation 10 or iPad Pro, whatever you're using, to have WhatsApp on it, I think it's a massive win. WhatsApp is nearly as valuable now as email, and probably more valuable to a lot of people. Some people use business versions of WhatsApp, and you name it. There's hurling groups and dance groups and friends groups and just one-to-one chats. There's just so much stuff now that people use WhatsApp for. So I can see why Jodie is loving WhatsApp on the iPad. And go on to Liquid Glass. I don't know. I don't have anything to say with liquid glass until it actually comes out. I don't think I have enough vision to properly use it and see it in action properly. But when we do get our hands on it, we'll give it a good review. And I'm sure Apple will maybe come up with a plan for people that are low vision. There is a possibility that you can turn it off, as far as I've read somewhere.
There is the reduced transparency option. And Daniel, I might bring you in on this, being the cited member of the crew among us. But like there is a reduced transparency option. I believe that exists in iOS even currently.
Yeah, it does. Has been around for a while actually. So it's not even a new setting there, but it's one that can be used as it stands. Your backgrounds at the moment are, I won't say transparent. There's a very subtle transparency in it. And to be able to turn that off, I think just increases the contrast, I suppose, between what you're doing, particularly background and text. So it just makes your background much stronger than the transparency that is on by default for everyone. So yeah, definitely one that you can go into and turn it off as needs be.
It's been good in some respects to hear, that there has been some accessibility, pushback, if you call it that, around liquid glass. So it is something that Apple will hear about and pay some attention to. I've heard, it's always interesting when you hear accessibility being discussed on a mainstream tech podcast. And I think the fact that this has kind of broken into the mainstream and that there are valid accessibility concerns around it, will cause Apple, I'm sure, to react. They generally are good when it comes to accessibility and things like that.
I think so. And just for anyone who maybe is not aware of reduced transparency, so if you go to your settings app and into your accessibility, and into display and text size, it's the fifth option there on the page that you can reduce the transparency. And what it also cuts out is, some backgrounds have the built-in blur into it. Kind of blurring maybe the wallpaper of your phone or something like that when a menu is open. So it can cut that out as well. So yeah, we'll see. Will they bring that across to the liquid glass? Probably there's no reason why they shouldn't have, because obviously that the fact that they already have reduced transparency in for everyone's display as it stands, it means they are aware that some people will like to not have transparency on their backgrounds or menus.
Yep, for sure. It's going to be an interesting one to watch, but it is, those options do exist, so that is promising, which is good. Yeah. Thank you so much for the voice note, Jody. Really do appreciate it. And now that you do have the WhatsApp for iPad, do send us more voice notes. We'd love to continue to hear from you if you stay listening to Talking Technology. So thank you so much for that. On to our next voice note. They just keep coming. Dipna was into us, and she had comments on the Glide demo day. Here's what she had to say.
Yes, I read the article on the Glide, and I also went to Dublin to try it out. I'm very impressed with the efforts that people are going to try and improve technology for people with visual impairment. Yeah, good.
Yep, good. Very good stuff. That's a response to the article that we had in Tech on Tap, our weekly newsletter, which of course you can sign up for on vi.ie. Tried the Glide and is optimistic, Joe, about where things are going and people experimenting in the space.
Thanks, Dibna. Lovely name, by the way. I see. I hear your message, and well received. Glide was well received by yourself and lots of others. But actually, I think the development of Glide has been really positive. They have listened to listener and user feedback, I suppose. And like you, Dipna, I think it's great to see the development in mobility aids. Actually, mobility aids have been one of the slower aids to get, I suppose, technology pushing forward over the years. I'm quite surprised there hasn't been something better at this stage, but it's great to see Glide pushing on and having a target for next year. And lots of people actually from that event received it really well. They have really improved the device to, I suppose, a stage that people are nearly comfortable getting guided by it. Not like before, there was a few issues, but now people are finding it nearly, a comfortable experience. Some people are blown away by it. So, I'm liking the progression of the product. I'm really looking forward to somebody actually buying it next year and giving us a review, or maybe even one of us might get our hands on it. But David, I'm happy to hear she enjoyed the experience at the Glide event.
Absolutely. Don't tempt me to buy one, Joe. But yes, it is great to hear that people had a good experience. And, it is interesting. That feedback from the Glide event, people obviously had questions, which is great and important, but mostly positive, which is great to see,
Quite positive, actually, in the end. So, I'm delighted it was quite positive. I had my own reservations, and I was like, this could be a flop, and could be another one of those things, and just great to see a bit of development in it, but maybe it won't make it or whatever. But no, I think they've really turned the corner, and it's looking like they will hit the finish line eventually, and hopefully for the target next year.
Absolutely. Interesting times ahead for Glide. Whether it will work or not, time shall tell, but it's certainly going to be one to watch. Our final note in this week then is from Tony. Tony got in touch with us via text. So on this occasion, Tony sometimes sends us voice notes. He's spoken about headphones on his Classic 3 before, but in this case it's text. So we've got Tony's message here read by AI. Here is what Tony had to say. This related to Sullivan Plus.
I've started using Sullivan Plus app, and it gets 9 plus out of 10 from me. Toss up with Google Lookout on the text capture, but less description than Be My Eyes app. All in all, Sullivan Plus wins for simplicity, but as a visually impaired person, Blind Shell 3 affords me all my audio descriptive needs. I think it's a case of having a go and not being scared of apps and tech.
Yeah, it's a fair point, Tony, and well said. Yeah, absolutely. People do sometimes get scared, I think, of new apps and tech like this, Joe, don't they?
Yeah, of course. When you're using something like Seeing AI or Be My AI and stuff like that, you sometimes stick with them. But some things on Be My Eyes and Be My AI, I wasn't that impressed with as regards to their data policy and the fact that stuff is saved in different places, and you wouldn't want to be taking pictures of too many personal documents. But I wrote a review on the Sullivan Plus app, and that's where Tony has got that information from. And he downloaded Sullivan Plus and gave it a go. I'm delighted to hear he had a 9, rated at 9 plus. Like myself, actually, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I suppose one of the brilliant things about Sullivan Plus is the fact that it's so quick. You take a picture of something and you get the information like 3 seconds later, basically, maybe 5. We'll limit it at 5, but it comes back straight away. I can take a picture of my oven's display. It'll tell me it's 180 degrees, and what else do you need to know? You know what I mean? I know that the oven is on at 180 degrees, so it comes back to me so quick. I don't have to go checking other apps and waiting 30 seconds for send off to a cloud and come back to me and blah blah blah. So I think it's great. It is a brilliant app, and it does more than just take pictures of text. Like, it describes scenes and recognises faces if you really want to do that. It's one of the things I don't think that's very practical, but recognises colour and all that kind of stuff as well. So there's loads of different things you can do with it. I recommend anyone just download it, give it a go. There's no real registration or anything like that you have to go through. Just download it, give it a go, and you'll be surprised by the results.
Yeah, I do wonder in a couple of years' time, are we going to get to a point with things like your visual intelligence and Gemini and stuff like that, where we won't need these third-party apps? It's going to be, I think, a fascinating time ahead to see what becomes of the likes of Be My Eyes and all of these various tools. Like, will we see this become the case of, like it started off when, if you wanted a third-party magnifier, you needed you needed a third-party one. You had to get something else. Or if you wanted, on the Windows side, you needed if you wanted a screen reader, you kind of had to go get JAWS. Are we going to see a transition in time where things are just built in, which is really interesting,
Oh, well, Yeah, that's an interesting comment, all right. But visual intelligence hasn't done anything much for us so far. There's a lot of talk about it getting better. It did hold a lot of promise for me, but so far, I think some of these apps like Sullivan Plus and Be My Eyes, the Be My AI part of it, and Seeing AI, I just seem to veer towards them all still. Yeah, maybe in a perfect world, there will be a case of just whipping out the phone and using the normal camera app and stuff like that. It does work to a degree at the moment. But yeah, I think there always will be a case or unique cases for certain apps for little minority groups and stuff like that just need that little extra piece of uniqueness out of an app, you know?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's a very valid point. Yeah, thank you absolutely as well, Tony, for sending in your message. Glad you're enjoying Sullivan Plus and the Blind Shell Classic 3. Thank you so much, and do indeed stay in touch. And that goes for any of you who are listening in. You want to share your thoughts, an app that you've tried, or something that we've discussed that you would like to comment on. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. You can send us a WhatsApp voice note to 086 199 0011. Remember that a voice note is not a call, so you want to find the voice message button. It's labelled with voiceover on the bottom right of your screen. Or if you would prefer, you can send us an email to content@vi.ie. That's content@vi.ie. But now, moving on, audio descriptive commentary. We've spoken about audio descriptive commentary here on Talking Technology before. We spoke about this in relation to the Six Nations. They had audio descriptive commentary on television as part of a deal with Guinness, and now Diageo, the parent company of Guinness, they have struck again. They are going to be providing audio description on television for the next 52 League of Ireland games, which is really cool. And there is also, in more news, the audio description news, it just keeps on coming, there is some rollouts when it comes to the GAA as well, and specifically in-person audio descriptive commentary at Croke Park. Joe, how important is audio descriptive commentary?
Yeah, I think for some people, audio descriptive commentary is vital. I know you can bring a radio with you to a match as well, and gives you, I suppose, a decent experience in a lot of cases. But in some cases, the match is not broadcast on a radio station. They might be switching off to other games, especially RTE, if they're trying to be near a national broadcaster, so they could be covering 3 or 4 games at once. Fair enough, your local one, it could be KCLR in my case, broadcast maybe one match, but the commentary is really good on the radio. But this audio descriptive app commentary is this audio descriptive commentary, is more, keeps the vision impaired person in mind, gives them extra bits of details that may not be thought about, maybe not be thought about by your general commentator. But I'm delighted to see it here, and it can only get better the more feedback that these creators get, So I think it's an important thing to have, David.
Absolutely. And as for audio descriptive commentary then on television as well, this is as part of a sponsorship with Virgin Media Television. And there is a statement here, and we've got Daniel to read the statement. As much because of the absolutely epic and unquestionably epic job title, we have a statement from the head of beer. Daniel, do you want to give us this statement there, if you don't mind?
Absolutely, David. Anne Zahan, head of beer at Diageo Ireland, said, as proud partners to the League of Ireland, we are delighted to be partnering with Virgin to provide audio description for all League of Ireland matches this season. A league of our own means a league for everyone to be able to enjoy. So that's Anne's addition.
The head of beer.
Very interesting job title.
Yeah, head of beer. You've got to respect it. Like, does that mean there's other heads of different alcoholic beverages? There has to be. But there you go. The head of stout. I want to be the head of. I want to be the head of stout, Joe.
The head of whiskey. I wonder what
head of
that person looks like.
Yeah. But there you go, head of beer. And it, genuinely, though, messing aside, it is brilliant to see. And to Diageo's credit, they have done some serious work in this space to provide audio descriptive commentary for the Six Nations. They've done it now for the League of Ireland with their Rockshore 00 brand. And I believe also Bailey's is under this group as well. And they provided audio description for Eurovision, which is also up my street. So, lots of really cool stuff. But then outside of the Virgin Media deal on television, then there is also the other side of this, which is the GAA. And it was interesting. There was a post on the Vision Ireland Facebook over the weekend, or maybe it was last week, about this audio descriptive commentary on the League of Ireland. And one of the universal themes in the comments of that post and the feedback people had is that they wanted it with the GAA. And that is kind of happening now, not on television yet, unfortunately. We need RTE and TG Cahir to up their game on that front. But if you do head to Croke Park nowadays, you do have the option to avail of audio descriptive commentary. And it might sound, if you do go and pick up a headset and avail of the service, well, it may sound something a little bit like this.
It was Conor Grimes that Sam Mulroy's found a pass inside, has broke to Andy McDonald. Andy McDonald fumbled it, gathered it again, looks to strike off his left foot, instead passes to Tommy Dernan. Tommy Dernan inside, there's a goal touch for Louth. It was blocked off. It's penalty. A penalty for Louth. It's a penalty for Louth.
Yeah, Sam Mulroy caused all sorts of problems. Gave it into big Tommy Dernan. And then, who was that?
Kieran McArdle.
It was.
He was just about to pull the trigger, and then he was just ran into the front of Downey went, and a goal here would tie up the game.
Yeah, and it looks like it's Kieran Downey with the ball in his hand, but in soccer style, he was only minding it there for Sam Mulroy. So it'll be Sam Mulroy from Niamh Martin, the 2025 All-Star nominee, up against Billy Hogan of Longwood.
He's kicking into a hill full of waving, booing Meath fans. Here he comes.
It's
goal! The goalkeeper went the wrong way, nestled beautifully into the bottom left-hand corner, and with 20 minutes gone in the Leinster final, it's Meath 5 points, Louth 1-2.
That is the audio descriptive commentary as heard in Croke Park for the Louth v Meath Leinster final. And joining me now on Talking Technology, I am delighted to be joined from Dublin by Sean Breslin, who was one of the commentators for that match in Croke Park. Sean, you're very welcome to Talking Technology. How are things?
I'm good, David. Thanks for having me.
Awesome stuff. So, Sean, audio descriptive commentary, we've talked about it on the show a little bit before, but Croke Park has just recently rolled out audio description commentary. How does all this work?
Well, ironically, they did the rollout, the official launch for it after we'd already got a couple of them under our belts, so that was a bit funny. But no, it was just I got notified by someone because I work in Croke Park. I'm a tour guide there, and someone in work told me, "Hey, I think you'd be perfect for this." And it was audio descriptive commentary that Croke Park were doing in collaboration with Vision Sport Ireland. So I just signed up for it, and I got accepted onto their roster. And then we just did a training day in the stadium. We'd Elaine O'Rourke in Croke Park and Sarah McFadden from Vision Sport Ireland just to take us through the ropes. Now, the commentary itself, I kind of knew a good bit about that. I didn't feel like there was much new I learned other than just to jog my memory. But what was more important was like the vision impairment side of it in relation to the people that we were doing this for. They talked about it in terms of how it was similar to radio commentary, but you could go into even more granular detail. Like you could go like he kicks it off his left boot, or he's underneath the Hogan side of the stadium, or even like more granular detail, like what color is the boots he's wearing, what color shirt is the referee wearing.
Yeah.
And then obviously like stuff in the stadium that you would see that may not be obvious to people. And that's all well and good. They can explain that very well, and you kind of understand what you're doing. But one great thing that they did as well was they brought us out into the stands, and they took out a briefcase, and they opened the briefcase, and there was about 10 or 12 pairs of glasses, and they said, all right, start trying these on one by one. And they'd given us a talk about the different vision impairments that are out there. Like, it's not just as binary as you can see or you're blind. There's a lot of gray there.
Yeah.
But they gave us the glasses one by one, and we tried them on. And some of them, some of it was just a bit blurred. Some of them, like one eye was black and one eye was clear. Maybe half an eye was black, the other half of each of an eye rather was black, and the half of the eye was clear. And it's like, this is the different types of things they were talking about, and this is it in practice. So when we're doing the commentary, we obviously want to do a good job. We want to do the players justice. We want to do the game justice. We want to do the sport justice. But by that kind of simple, practical lesson almost, it kind of drove home for us exactly who we were doing it for and why they needed this sort of service. Because I was trying on vision impairments and picking them up and putting them down like they were chocolates in a box, and it's like, this is different. It'd be tough to watch the game like this, and so you kind of realize, oh yeah, what we're doing is really crucial here, just for not just to enhance the experience, but kind of if you're going to get the full enjoyment of the game, then it can be quite difficult if you're like this. So yeah, it's absolutely, it was always a worthwhile thing to do, but with that kind of extra layer of understanding, it's a real privilege to be doing it.
Super stuff. So I suppose then audio descriptive commentary, as you say, kind of describes aspects of the game in more detail, and crucially allows someone then, if they're in the stadium, to to follow the game, so they can enjoy it really like anyone else. But if I go to let's say I go to Croke Park, so this is Croke Park initially at least. Some other stadiums across the country have done similar before as well. But if I go to Croke Park, I get a headset. I then can listen to that headset throughout the game. How does that whole process work? So when I arrive at Croke Park, what do I do?
Well, the process starts before you arrive at Croke Park. So I think at the start of the week, Croke Park put out the advertising saying, hey, if you need audio descriptive commentary and you're going to the game, fill out this form. It closes on Wednesday. And you fill out the form, and they'll get in touch with you, say, "Hey, you're down for a radio." And then on the day of the game, you show up to an information box that's on the lower Cusick stand where you can pick it up. They can't just bring a sack of them to Croke Park and start handing them out, because I think they need to order. They said this during our training. They needed to order them in specifically because they could be saddled with like 100 or 200 that they don't need. So it's a very much you reserve your own radio. You can't just rock up on the day and grab one. So it's a process throughout the week, but you will know coming into the stadium that you're going to have one, and they will have one for you.
Perfect. That's awesome. And then you mentioned as well, that you've done one or two of these already. You mentioned to me before we started recording that you had done the descriptive commentary for the Leinster final. How did you find the process?
Well, it was interesting enough. Like the commentary stuff I had ready to go, and then it was just about applying what I'd learned. I think one lesson I took away from it, and this is just a personal thing, is that I had the option to be able to hear myself in my ears as I was talking, and I decided not to do that. And the guy I was doing it with, the guy called Shane from Galway, he did. And so when I listened back to it, there was a bit of shouting going on my end, and Shane was a bit more even keel. If you want evidence of that, the whole video of that game with our commentary is on YouTube. If you just search "Loud versus Mead audio descriptive commentary," you'll most likely find it. We kind of settled into a groove. We had good chemistry, and it was just about drawing attention to certain things that in the stadium you might not be aware of. Like if you smelled something funny, like we could tell you that like the Mead fans had just lit a half a dozen flares on the hill, and they covered that entire goal almost in smoke. And so if you smell something strange, that's it. And then in the closing minutes of the game, where the euphoria of the Loud fans was kind of at its fever pitch, if something weird landed on your head and you're thinking, what's going on there? It's like, I can tell you exactly what's going on. There are people on the top level that are firing their programs down. I don't know if that was out of Mead fans furious or Loud fans jubilant, but it was just about painting a picture for people who were listening to us, and just kind of do the players justice and kind of document their exploits on the field.
Absolutely. So that is really cool. And it's great to know that, it's more than just the game. It is the reaction to the game as well, which is critically important. But you mentioned there something interesting, and that was, that the match that you had did, the Leinster final, that the audio descriptive commentary of that eventually made its way to YouTube. Is that something that the GAA are experimenting with officially, or is that something that's going to happen more in the long term? Where does that where do we see that going in time?
No, that was actually just all me. I have a YouTube channel. It's not a consistent thing. It's just whenever I want to make a video about sport, I'll just throw it up on the one channel. And I wanted the audio of myself doing the commentary anyway, just for my own portfolio, my own CV almost, but also I wanted to listen back to myself and kind of critique and see what I could have done better. And then I managed to get a hold of the the video of the game. Someone else had uploaded the game to YouTube with like the proper RTE commentary. So I just got that video. I took the sound out of it, and then I added the sound of myself and Shane. And just the hardest part actually was just kind of aligning my sound to our sound, to the pictures that I was seeing. The hooter actually helped a lot with that. I personally don't really like the hooter, but in that instance, it was quite helpful. So I lined up the sound in the video, and I just threw it up on YouTube, and it's got 1,000 views now. I think it's definitely something that Croke Park and or the GAA could be doing and perhaps should be doing. I'm not quite sure who I'd talk to about that, but it would be a great thing to have because those two YouTube channels aren't doing a whole pile at the moment, and it would be a good way to expose people who might not have seen this sort of stuff on social media. Hey, there is this other option available to you if you want it, and probably more importantly, if you need it, if you're going to the game but you have some sort of impairment and you can't quite make out what's going on. This is there for you. So I really think that is an avenue that they could and should pursue.
Absolutely, or even RTE or TG Cahir or whoever the broadcaster is. There's definitely a role, I think, to be played there, because as fantastic as it is to be able to attend Croke Park, not everybody is going to be able to do that, unfortunately. So definitely an interesting one. Really, really cool. But before we finish up, because it's a Friday evening as we record this, I do want to ask you, because this isn't your day job, and you mentioned earlier on that you were a tour guide in Croke Park. So tell us a little bit before you go about that. What kind of tours do you do in Croke Park, and what's that all like?
So we do two main tours. There's the stadium tour, which is kind of self-explanatory, dressing rooms, pitch side, upstairs, that sort of thing. And then the Skyline tour, which is up on the roof. Now, the Skyline tour is different in that it's more about the city of Dublin than it would be Croke Park itself. So you've got a full view of the city, all the buildings, all the churches, the monuments, the other famous places. And the guide who takes you up there will point out certain bits saying, this is what this thing is, this is what this thing is, and basically tell you a story of the capital city of Ireland through its landmarks. And then we've got, obviously, the GAA Museum, which before I got the job, I went in there for the first time since I was a kid, and I described it as, if you're a GAA fan, it's food for the soul, because you're just surrounded by the entire history, like the sport you loved all your life, and then there's a games room up there if you want to like crack a sliotar or kick a football, and you can tell your friends you played in Croke Park, but erase all of the specifics about that statement. And then also one other thing that we've recently opened in the museum is a sensory room. So that's really good for people who might need just a quiet place to sit, chill, relax. We've had a couple of school tours. We're in the thick of school tour season right now, and some kids on that have been able to avail of that service, and it's really enhanced the experience for them. Whereas previously, it might have been a little bit difficult for certain people. But now it's a lot smoother for them. It's a weight off their teacher's mind, and it's been a really good addition to the museum. But yeah, typically the stadium tours go at 11, 1, and 3. The museum is open from 10. They're going to get a separate ticket for that. Skyline, at the moment, we're only doing 2:30 in the afternoon. I think we might be bringing in one at 11:30 in the morning, but certainly today that wasn't on. And if you get a ticket for the stadium or the Skyline, that gives you full access to the museum as well. So you can wander around there to your heart's content until we close up shop for the evening.
Super stuff. Sean, it's awesome stuff. It really is great to hear about projects like this in the GAA and to hear as well about these things becoming more accessible for people regardless of what abilities or disabilities they have. So listen, thank you so much for doing it. Thank you so much for joining us on Talking Technology, and best of luck with the descriptive commentary in the future.
My pleasure, David. Thank you for having me again.
And there you have it. That is an interview with Sean, who is one of the audio description commentators at Croke Park. Sean Breslin there telling us about his experience of doing that. And, he does raise that really interesting point, Joe, about the YouTube channel. It really would be great to get some of those broadcasters actually doing the work rather than Sean having to do it himself,
Oh, it would be brilliant if we had. I think somewhere down the line, I can see it going towards that. What about for the vision impaired people that do not have maybe friends or family to go to something like this, or for some older vision impaired people might be in a nursing home, that kind of cohort that just cannot get to Croke Park. Croke Park can be regarded now as accessible in all sorts of different ways, but that still doesn't mean everybody can get there. So even some sort of an FM frequency that could be turned on when Sean is broadcasting, or a YouTube Live or Facebook Live or whatever, but the FM frequency is accessible to all vision impaired and blind people, but something like that, David. And I think a discussion or a conversation could be opened down the line. They've started it, so we'll keep it going.
Absolutely.
I think the FM frequency would be the only answer, really, because YouTube and all that to be a lag in it, so you could hear the crowd going, roaring, going mad. You wonder what's going on.
But
By your
even
commentary.
Yeah, if you're at it, I suppose.
if
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
at it, but even if you're watching from home, like the audio quality on that clip that we had there, like it's really good. Like you could broadcast that alongside, like, do you know, like they have it for, like, imagine, you know, you're watching the All Ireland final at home, and you know, just it would be great to for them to be able to say, lads, we have audio description. You know, you can either turn it on your box or you can listen to it on RTE Player or something like that. I mean,
Yeah,
it seems
absolutely.
like a win-win. And when you have crowds like, you know, Diageo who are paying for this for other sports. I mean, the GAA, they have their own streaming service now. It used to be GAA Go, now GAA Plus, which has its own accessibility challenges, but that's neither here nor there. It is definitely something that could grow quite excitingly in the future, you know?
Oh, it could grow without a doubt. That's the conversation on growing. But currently what we have is Sean in the stadium. And Sean, the commentary there you introduced before your interview with Sean was mind-blowing. It's great commentary, actually, Sean. Yeah. So, it was very exciting and very descriptive. And so that would encourage me to go to a GA match a bit more. Look, I know most counties only get there once, if at all, to Croke Park. So I'm hoping it will be introduced to more stadiums as well. GA is nationwide. There's lots of stadiums in Ireland that could do with it. So it's a start. It's a brilliant start, and great to see him in the sensory room as well to the Croke Park Museum. I actually done the museum tour before. It's brilliant. I'd really recommend it. The guides are excellent, actually, David, to give you, and you get to watch an experience and a video on the large screen in there as well. So they've brilliant experience in Croke Park. I think it's great. Great advancements altogether.
Excellent stuff. Sean, thank you so much for that. Thanks to everyone in Croke Park as well for linking us all in there as well. Really appreciate it. And well done on the audio description commentary. And well done as well to the team over our colleagues over in Vision Sports. They do work on this all year round, and they do lots more besides as well. So well done to them on that as well. Very well done. And hey, if you would like to send us a voice note, tell us how you feel about audio descriptive commentary. Maybe you've been to a game where it's been used. Maybe you've listened to it on television with the deal on Virgin Media. However you've experienced it, we'd love to hear your experience. So please do send us a voice note, 086 199 0011 if you want to get in touch with us on WhatsApp, or you can get in touch with us through content@vi.ie. We'll have news in just a second, but a reminder before we do that if you would like to get training on a whole variety of different things, you can pay a visit to vi.ie to learn about some of the upcoming training courses that we have from Labs. This coming Thursday, we've got a course coming up on booking public transport, for example. So if you would like information on that, or a wide variety of other things, you can find all the information about our upcoming courses on our website, vi.ie, and you can send an inquiry to training@vi.ie if you would like as well. But now, though, it's time to cross over to Daniel Dunn and the Nuacht.
This is Talking Technology News.
So, with your latest Talking Technology news, I'm a very angry Daniel Dunn. Why am I angry, you might ask? Because WhatsApp have announced they are going to be introducing advertising. Right on cue. Thanks, David. For now, the move won't impact those who simply use WhatsApp for messaging friends and family, as the company are limiting the ads to the Updates tab. But that Updates tab will be getting lots of new features designed to make money, including ads and paid channels. WhatsApp is owned by advertising giant Meta, who owns companies like Facebook and Instagram. And WhatsApp recently joined those companies in showing ads with data from your Meta accounts being used to target those ads if the accounts are linked. WhatsApp say that the contents of your chats will remain private and not be used to target advertising as part of the change. We've been talking about our plans to build a business that does not interrupt your personal chats for years, and we believe that the Updates tab is the right place for these new features to work, WhatsApp have said. WhatsApp needs a way to make money for Meta, but with people already facing ads everywhere else, will this simply annoy people? It's going to be an interesting one to watch. Let us know your thoughts with a WhatsApp voice note, and hopefully you won't find an ad in the way. In other news, an update has been released for the users of the Victor Stream 3. The device is getting the ability to rename notes on device, and now there is audio to indicate bookmarks. A number of bugs have been fixed, such as issues with duplicated speech, and there is now an option to move all your podcasts to the SD card if you like. The new version of the software is version 1.5, and full details can be found on the HumanWare website. The Stream devices are very popular. In fact, 9% of our podcast listenership comes from the devices. So for those of you listening on a Victor Reader Stream right now, it is definitely worth checking for updates. And finally, for now, game company Valve have announced that they are introducing the ability to search for games based on their accessibility features as part of their Steam online store. Steam is somewhat like an app store for games and is really popular among PC gamers in particular. Steam also developed a handheld console called the Steam Deck, which is a bit like a Nintendo Switch. The Steam online store is now allowing developers to declare what accessibility features they have using a wizard, and then users will be able to see those access credentials before making a purchase or when they search specifically for accessible games. This is a great move, as it means that games with accessibility features will become more discoverable, hopefully encouraging more developers to embrace accessibility. Lots of search features have been introduced to the Steam store, such as customizable text size, colorblind modes, descriptive audio, and text-to-speech, and vice versa. Users can also filter games based on whether they are playable only with the keyboard, only the mouse, or include mandatory timed button presses. Valve have also added filters for stereo sound, surround sound, adjustable difficulty, and the ability to save progress at any time. These are great improvements, and hopefully it makes a difference. And that's it for now. If you missed our WWDC coverage from last week, you can check out a recap video on everything that was announced on the VI Labs YouTube channel. Just search VI Labs Accessibility on YouTube and be sure to subscribe while you're there. For now, though, it's back to you, David.
Cheers, Daniel. Thank you very much. Lots there to chat about. First of all, though, the big one, WhatsApp, Daniel. Joe, I know for a fact, is absolutely raging. We'll come to Joe in a second. But how do you feel about this?
Yeah, look, it was inevitable and angry, I guess, about it. But yeah, it was inevitable when WhatsApp came into the Meta family along with Facebook and Instagram, that advertisement was going to worm its way in somehow. And I think, like, yeah, they're saying there in the release it's only going to be in the updates tab. That's for now, though, isn't it?
Yeah, they won't say it, and maybe, look, I'd love to be proven wrong, but time will tell. Joe, you're not a happy camper about this at all.
Yeah, look, of course, like, I am raging with all these advertisements everywhere. It's breaking my heart, David. Like, I mean, going to YouTube, fair enough, you have to pay for the premium and get rid of the ads, we accept that. But I see some of the other streaming offerings now from Prime and Netflix and all the rest of them, with Disney Plus as well. I think they're putting advertisements in the middle of some of their programs, so some of their offerings, and I think that's a little bit unfair considering we're paying a premium now. Now they want to pay an extra premium to get rid of the ads. It's like, I don't know, David. Yeah. It's getting beyond the joke sometimes. Yeah, and thankfully the ads are only in the updates of WhatsApp. Who looks at the updates anyway? Huh?
Well, apparently, there was an article on the BBC on this, and they were saying that, updates, they're not very popular in the UK, and I would imagine it's a similar story for Ireland, but apparently they're more common in other parts of the world, so who knows, maybe some of our American friends or those right around the world, they can tell us, are updates used in your region? WhatsApp claimed that about 1.5 people visit the updates tab every day. So it is a lot of people that it impacts at the same time.
1.5 what?
Billion.
Billion or billion?
With a B.
Okay. You left out the billion. You left out that part.
Yeah, so I mean...
Yeah, well, in my house, it's probably 1.5, maybe not, people on their own. But yeah, I think it's not very popular over here in Ireland. I'm fairly sure of that, the updates. They probably will find a way of making it popular, maybe make some specific things unique to updates or something like that. But as someone was saying to me earlier, if it's coming to updates, it's probably coming to chats in some form or other. Whether that be maybe you're in the local GAA chat, you might be getting advertised O'Neill's gear or something like that, or Missouri or whatever other brands are out there with GAA. So this is the kind of thing I can see coming down the line, and let's hope not. But look, things like this only go one direction.
It does. I tend to agree with you there, Joe, and I think it'll probably go as far as where it won't be in personal chats, but when you go into your list or your inbox of chats, that's where you're going to see advertisement. And like you said, if you go into a group chat, it's going to be there too. So I'd say that's where it'll go to.
Well, Meta have had that for a while. Like, they've had their other messaging platform, Messenger, has had that exact thing for a while. You go in and they're next to all of the people you want to contact. There's a random ad for some random crowd, so it is there is some precedence for this.
Now I remember why I don't use Messenger.
There you go. Plus the fact that it's Facebook, and I think Facebook is kind of, although people I used to always say Facebook was dying a death. Apparently it's having a resurgence now, but I wouldn't know.
I think it's mainly because of the reels and stuff. They always find new ways of getting people back hooked into Facebook. I think the Facebook Watch, it is a very addictive platform. Anybody clicks on a video on Facebook Watch, you'd never end up watching that one video.
Yeah, that's true.
So 2 hours later, you're watching some other video about 1990 World Cup or something. Not the video you wanted to watch in the first place, but you end up down that rabbit hole and somehow you're still on Facebook.
Yeah. It's an interesting one for sure. Other stories then as well there. Steam getting accessibility labels can only be a good thing. There's a few stories that we didn't get to include in the news this week. The National Association for the Deaf in America are suing the White House over there, which is interesting, for the lack of provision of American Sign Language interpreters. So that's definitely an interesting story, not ever great to be reading about, but there is a lawsuit active on that front now. And this stuff, it keeps on coming, so a little bit of good and a little bit of bad along the way, Joe.
Yeah, a little bit of good and a little bit of bad, yeah. The Steam Deck, I've never actually used a Steam Deck, never seen a deck. I'd love to have a voice note from somebody that has used it or found it accessible or whatever.
My brother has one. They're not particularly accessible. Although I did speak to one of our service users yesterday. Daniel, I believe you were there as well, actually, who mentioned that it was quite a hackable device, that you were able to kind of maybe find roundabout ways of getting screen readers on it, which was interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Some people who are very talented when it comes to getting in under the bonnet of these devices and be able to try new things on them. Very interesting. I suppose one thing you can't do that is an iPhone.
It's true. Very true. And yeah, no, if people do have experience, I'd be interested to know what the variety is like of accessible games out there, especially on the PC side, or on a Steam Deck. Would be interested to hear about that. So do send us a voice note. The only other story that we didn't cover in detail there, the British Wireless for the Blind Fund, they are killing off their speech radio app. So this was an app that was used to provide talking newspapers and other services like that. They're killing that off alongside its corresponding Alexa skill. They basically said, Joe, that nobody was using. Well, they didn't say nobody, but it didn't reach the uptake that they had expected or needed.
That's the thing about these apps. I think British Wireless Radio Broadcaster, they made a big effort to get this going, and I suppose make it accessible and provide a good service for people that are low vision and blind, that like to listen to the radio and talk newspapers and all that kind of stuff. But then the take-up wasn't there. So I find that with a lot of these things, look, when the take-up isn't there, they have to get rid of it, and that's understandable. But, I mean, people have asked for it in the first place, so just make sure if you've asked for these products to be included or these apps to be made, try and use them. Maybe even make the odd donation if there is a donate button or something. Just when they die, that's when the mud hits the fan, and we have to rely on maybe a generic service that doesn't provide as good a service to us. So look, it is sad to see that going. They said they will try and get more investors before it closes down in the middle of the summer. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Time will tell. It's an interesting one. We talk about that even around the audio description chat that, we had earlier. I mean, it's no good if you have people like Sean and Shane and all the team over there rocking up and then people aren't showing up to use that service. So we need to, if
use it or lose it kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately. And that's the kind of way these things are. But there you go.
We did come up with lots of ideas for keeping the likes of the GAA commentary service going. So hopefully we'll be listened to in some department, or maybe we could even just start a discussion going forward. But yeah, I think it's great to have these services started, and that's all we need is a start. Get the interest going, put the news out there, and then we'll see where it takes from there.
And that video that on the YouTube that Sean mentioned, that's up to 1,200 views. So that's a lot of people too. Do you know? And maybe not all of them visually impaired, but a good percentage will be. So that's always great to see. So on that positive note, that is about our lot for this episode of Talking Technology. Thank you so much for listening. A reminder that again, we do have lots of courses coming up over the next little while, so do keep an eye on the upcoming events section of our website. That's where you'll find all the details of all of those. You can get in touch with us at any time by sending a voice note to 086 199 0011, or you can send us an email to content@vi.ie. Or if you would like some support, you can call our VI Labs Technology Support Help Desk at any time, 9 to 5. The number you need for that in Ireland, 1-800 911 110. That's 1-800 911 110. But for now, that is us done for another week. Thank you so much for listening to Talking Technology with VI Labs, and we'll see you really soon, so be sure to subscribe. See you then.
Thanks for listening to the Talking Technology podcast with VI Labs. If you'd like to support our show, please visit vi.ie/donate. Talking Technology is proudly sponsored by IA Labs, the market leader in digital accessibility services. IA Labs, digital inclusion, your legal obligation.